welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little treat bag. I went ahead and filled it with snickerdoodle cookies that my daughter and I made this morning, and I will post that recipe on my blog along with the instructions to make this. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to need is a 6x8 cellophane bag. These you can order through our catalog. And I have an online catalog on my website if you want to go and look. So I went ahead and filled them with cookies because I want to see how much room I've got to work with when we close up the bag. Okay, let's cut out our pieces. The stamp set and the dies that we will be using today are jars. The stamp set is the Jars of Love, and the dies are everyday jars. Now when you buy, you can purchase both as a bundle for 10% off. And what I had done is just took a magnetic craft sheet. I cut it down to 5x7 and it slides right in here. So my dies and my stamps are together. I don't have to go hunting around to figure out where I put everything. So you just close them up and they're together whenever you need them. So come open them back up. And let's go ahead and we're going to start with the basic, and that is the jar. You're going to need just a few pieces of scrap Whisper White cardstock. And the jar I stamped in Smoky Slate. So open that one up. Let's go ahead and ink our jar. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and stamp him on our scratched piece of paper, like so. There's our jar. Let's set that aside. And then going to our die cut set, I'm going to pick the largest jar. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the Big Shot. And let's go ahead and cut this out. Now, with the Big Shot, they have what is called a magnetic platform. I love this thing. I was very hesitant about changing over from my original multi-purpose platform, but this makes things so much easier. You put your cutting mat down, you put your cardstock down, and then you put your die down. You see that? Oops. I'll show you in here in a second. And then you can put your die around your stamped image, and it does not come off. I absolutely love this thing. Okay, you take your other cutting mat, you slide it on top, put your Big Shot. Okay, take everything off, and there you have your image. So I'm going to set that aside. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to do is we have these little flowers. Okay. 2 are inked in Sweet Sugar Plum, and 2 are inked in the Peekaboo Peach. I went ahead and did 2 in the Sugar Plum and 1 in the Peekaboo Peach, but I want to show you how I got the darker effect against the lighter effect to kind of make it like a 3-dimensional flower. Okay. It is called 2-step stamping, and you will have 3 stamps to work with. Okay. Okay. Now we are using just the one color, and you want to keep in mind that you're going to be working light to dark. So, for example, you're going to take your biggest image. Okay, this is basically the flower itself. And we want to stamp light. But to achieve that, you have to do a process called stamping off, which means get a scrap piece of paper, stamp off, and stamp on your cardstock, okay? Then you take the detailed petals, and this you want to stamp on your lighter image full strength. So in other words, you're going to stamp directly to the flower, okay? These are your little pollen seeds, and these you do full strength. Like that, and there you go. That's how you get a flower. Now, with this, I'm going to go ahead and cut him out using the Big Shot. So again, I'm getting out my magnetic platform and my cutting pad. I'll put him on here. And ridge, I don't know if you can see, there's little ridges. Ridge size down is what actually cuts the paper. And so you're going to position it there. Like so. Put this on top. Run it through your Big Shot. And then we'll take the sandwich apart, so to speak. And there you have your little dimensional flower. Okay, we'll set this aside. Okay, coming back to our jar, and now we have 4 flowers. Oh, we have to do one more thing. In our little flower bouquet, you have stems. I went ahead and cut out 2 stems, but I need 1 more. So I'm going to set these little images aside, grab my scrap piece of paper, grab the stem. Now all this comes from the Jars of Love stamp set. And stamping in Cucumber Crush, we're going to go ahead and stamp down. Okay. Go ahead and get the die that belongs to our little vine. Magnetic platform one more time. Okay, you want to position that. Ridge size down, you want to position that. Put your other cutting pad above it. The cutting pads are more to protect the die. So as you're running it through the Big Shot, your die has a little bit of protection. Okay, there's our vine. Okay, so you should end up with a jar, 3 vines, and 4 flowers. Okay. Okay, now let's assemble this little thing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sediment. It just says thanks. And that is also in the Jars of Love stamp set. Okay, never had that happen before. So we're going to stamp that up. Put thanks in there. Okay, so that's done. And now using glue dots, because I found that they're the smallest adhesive that will work for this, to get everything together. And I'm going to start by gluing my vines onto the jar. And what I do is take a glue dot and I roll it between my fingers to kind of make a little log. And then I will stick it to the vine. And I like to do 2 per one at the top of the vine, and one towards the bottom of the vine. You don't want to do anything up here because this is what's going to be sticking above your jar. So you can kind of, I'm able to flip it over and kind of position them kind of where I want them, like that. So okay, we're going to go ahead and do the rest of them. Okay, excuse me. I went ahead and glued on our 3 vines, like that. And now what we're going to do is take our flowers and we're going to glue them on as well. And again, I use glue dots because I think they just work better. And I'm just going to apply 1 dot. Woohoo. To each of the flowers. So. Oops, didn't mean to bend him. Okay. Whoops. There we go. And so we are going to take our glue dot and go ahead and apply it to our flowers. Kind of like that. Now what I want to do is I'm going to create the little bow on the outside. So I'm going to take, oh, I don't know, I'll take some linen thread and I'm just going to wrap it around. Like 3 times or so. I'm doing this in the camera. There's 1, 2, 3. Okay. Take my snips and snip it off. And then tie a bow. Oh, that's too short. Okay, so I took a piece of linen thread and I tied it around and I tied a bow. It took me a little bit to tie this silly bow because I'm not very good at them. But here is what our little tag looks like. Isn't that just cute? I think that is so adorable. I really do. Now, let's go ahead and get out our bag of cookies. Okay, here's our bag of cookies. And I'm going to take 9 inches or so of the Emerald MV thick baker's twine. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to crumple up the bag, wrap my twine around it, and I'm just going to tie a knot. Like so. It pulls it tight. And then I'm going to cut off my ends. I'm going to flip it over to the front. Now, I adhere this with dimensionals. Not to get the image to pop off the bag so much, but I think they adhere better to a bag than snail or even a sticky strip would. So you just find a Can you put it there? So there you go. That's how you do two-step stamping, how you keep your dies and your stamp sets together, and how you make this cute little wonderful bag. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of the summer, and we'll see you next week. Bye.